Morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Okay, let me just mute myself, yeah? Hopefully everyone is good. Welcome to the Think Ownership series. Thank you for being here. Let me see. Yes, it's 11:06, so we still have time. Guys, my name is Mbale Mavundla. I'm here with Brian Makwaiba, who's going to be leading us in on some of the insights that we are looking for. So today, let me just say, this is a Think Ownership series where we encourage entrepreneurs to think beyond servitude and start thinking about, hey, how can we turn our consumerism into the business that we own? How can we not take the money that we keep spending on other businesses and change it to and change those businesses to our businesses? Because most of the time, as African people, as African entrepreneurs, we've been so used to getting services, outsourcing products. But the purpose of this series is to try and gain more insights into how we can own the spaces that we trade in the most. So I'm joined today by Brian. I'm just going to go through his profile a bit. Brian, are you good?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Lovely catching up with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing.
Thank you for having me.
How's your Friday going?
Well, it's relaxed. I had to move a couple of things around, so I'm here now.
Yeah. So let me just let everybody in on what we are talking about today. Today is about the Spaza shop conversation. On the 30th of September, the Gauteng government passed a draft bill that was said to ban foreign nationals from trading in the spaces, in the location where most of our African entrepreneurs are. So the bill states that foreign nationals without legal documentation should not be allowed to own Spaza shops. And the Spaza shop conversation is very important because, as we know, Spaza shops alone contribute about 9 billion into the South African industry per annum. So we're going to look at a few things. We're going to engage Brian on a few things because he also has an app that allows Spaza shop owners to do business conveniently.
Yeah.
All right. So if passed, the draft bill by the Gauteng government will foresee nationals without permanent residency status banned from opening and operating businesses in certain townships in the province. So this is an article from the Daily Maverick. I'm quoting from the Daily Maverick. So Stella Brini, an NGO focused on the well-being of migrants, has raised concerns over the bill, especially its potential negative impact on the livelihood of many townships, Spaza shops to be exact. So the bill was sent out for comments. So, if you have something to say, just go to the Gauteng government and you'll find the bill there because it's open for public comment as well. I'm just going to play us a little video here, Brian, before we get started. It's also from the Daily Maverick website. Okay, while it's still loading, let's just dive in deep into our conversation first. Okay. So Brian is a charismatic network and business builder. He was named the Innovator of the Year in 2017, and he's the co-founder and CEO of I Am Emerge and the Vuleka Platform. I Am Emerge is a creative agency giving the township market access to big businesses and vice versa. Vuleka is a grassroots economic development initiative focused on growing township-based businesses, both formal and informal. The app can be used to redeem coupons of discounts from manufacturers of products and redeem these coupons at the registered Spaza shops. I just want to say this. When we say think ownership, this is exactly what we mean. I'm quoting Brian here. Our large network of township-based businesses from a collective purchase power that enables us to negotiate better deals when buying in bulk. We pass this saving on to the traders. The orders then get delivered to them, saving them time and money. I like what you did with the app there. So maybe let's just dive into the questions first. I'm going to load the video here. It's just taking me a bit of time. I'm not sure why, but it's okay. We can continue in the meantime. So yes, Brian, let's dive deep into the Spaza shop conversation. You know, it was such an uproar on social media when the draft bill was released for public commentary. You know, people were split in half. Some of them were saying yes, foreign nationals are taking jobs away from South Africans, or maybe they were saying they're just trading in our spaces. We don't want them here. Do you think that how true is it that foreign nationals are the ones crippling our township economy?
So I honestly think that as much as foreign nationals are competition to the local spaza shops, that's not those are not the people that are actually crippling the economy. So big business or big retailers are the ones that are crippling the economy. If you look at the fact that there is ShopRite, which has now got the USave shops that are being opened within townships, and Pick and Pay that is coming in and branding spaza shops, Pick and Pay spaza shops. That is the one that is crippling both the local and foreign-owned spaza shops. So as much as the foreign-owned spaza shops do take away from the local spaza shops, the real villain, I believe in this case, is actually big business or the big retailers.
Very interesting. I saved that question for last, but we can dive into it now. So as you said, you know, the fact is ShopRite USave did roll out, you know, those spaza shop containers, and up to date, if I'm correct, they have, if not a little over 20, then maybe just less than 15, you know. There wasn't this whole commotion when ShopRite wanted to come in and compete with the smaller guys. And mind you, they have the economic power because they can adjust their prices according to where they are at the time because they can afford it.
True. But not only that, I mean, remember as well that most of the products that are coming in through the ShopRites and through the Pick and Pay spaza shops are actually, they are branded products. So it's their own branded products that they are now selling. So it's not only crippling the economy or the local economy in that sense, that the spaza shop can't now compete with these guys because, like you said, they have the supply chain sorted. They've got the buying power. They can negotiate and they can reduce prices to as much as they want. Apart from just the containers, they are also opening up physical brick and mortar stores just on the edges of townships, so that people now don't necessarily have to jump into a taxi and go and buy at a ShopRite. So the difference or the distinguishing thing before was that if you're going to a spaza shop, it's within a walking distance, so you can go there for your top-ups. But then if you really need to do your grocery shopping, then you have to get into a car, go into a taxi, go to the mall or to the strip mall, and then buy from there. But then if they're coming closer to you, you don't have to go to the spaza shop anymore.
Oh, I lost you a bit there, Brian.
Sorry.
It's okay. Is your connection good to that side? Or it's me?
No, it's fine. Just hold on.
I just want to ask, so what do you think is the reason? Because, I mean, South Africans could have brought the very same energy, you know, and I'm not blaming anyone, myself included, you know. If we were so concerned about the township economy, we could have brought the same energy and said, no, ShopRite cannot trade in these small spaces because these small spaces are reserved for us, entrepreneurs in the township. Do you think that maybe for foreign nationals maybe are an easier target when it comes to these things? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we are, and I mean, us South Africans, we are using force. We're using violence, but why is it so difficult to take the very same energy and give it to the ShopRite people who are actually competing with us?
So I agree with you there. So the foreign nationals are an easier target. They are here, and it's easier for us to go and fight them and want them out. However, to play devil's advocate as well, there is nothing or nowhere that says that if the foreign nationals are removed, the spaza shops locally are going to thrive.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says that.
Yeah,
because
true.
this is supposed to be a competitive environment. The people that we can't compete against are the big retailers. There's no way that you can go and open up your Spaza shop and try and compete with a Pick and Pay branded Spaza or with the ShopRite container, because they'll outprice you everywhere. The foreign guys, yes, we do have elements within the foreign nationals where one guy would own about 10, 20, 30 Spazas. That I see as a problem. So that is not as well competitive.
If they what? Sorry?
Where one guy would own about 20 or 30 Spaza shops.
Really? Is that true?
Yes.
and so what makes this easier for the... Okay.
Yeah. What makes it easier for them to own it is because they invest in them. So they would get money and then invest in renting out these properties from our local guys. So if he's paying an average of maybe $5,000 on a monthly basis, he's probably making 20, 30 grand in profits monthly. So 5,000 is really nothing. So he can then go own another shop and then bring in a manager to come in and manage it.
Yeah. You actually know what I discovered just a few months ago when I started digging into this Spaza shop conversation, is that most of the Spaza shop owners buy stokvela and they stokvel hard.
Yes.
By that I mean, if I own a Spaza shop by myself, I'm not going to be buying stock alone. So I'm going to club with myself, the next Spaza shop owner, and the next Spaza shop owner. But I remember these people, most of them or majority of them are from the same area, even though they're not related by blood, but that's where family comes in. That's where community comes in, because they know, Guti, so now this is not our home. So in order for us to survive here, we must come together. And that's how they get like awesome deals, and they can afford to give cheaper deals to the other guys. Now, me as a South African, I own and operate my own Spaza shop, and I'm buying everything at retail prices because I'm not buying everything in bulk. Yeah.
So they do that, and what they do is that they support each other. If a new person comes in, they pull money together, and then they help that person to open the Spaza shop. And then when they buy, they bulk buy together, and they there'll be one person that goes and does the bulk buying, and then they bring it, and then they can stock up the shops. And exactly like you're saying, they do then are able to get things cheaper. I mean, we do have people that do unscrupulous things, like if they want to bring down like a Spaza shop that is considered big, that is local, they would try and open up Spaza shops around there and then drop the prices. People go there, that one loses business, and then after that they get the prices up again. So there are unscrupulous people that do that, and like I said, there are elements that will own more than one. There are elements that will do those unscrupulous type of ways of doing business. But I think the big person to fight here is the big retailer, not necessarily the foreign-owned Spaza shop.
Right. Because I mean, looking at the future, ShopRite will continue to roll out these Spaza shops. And they're the biggest competition, whether people like it or not. So, hey, guys, maybe we should consider redirecting our energy, Let's just go to the comments a bit. There's a comment here for you from Liseho Mataba. Sorry if I said your name wrong. If I understand correctly, Brian is actually promoting the franchise brand for Kasi Business. Please rectify me if I don't understand. Seeking clarity. He's promoting the franchise brand. Okay, no. Brian?
Okay. Yeah, so no, what we do is we're not promoting the Kasi brand. I'm not sure if I understand the question. So
neither do I.
What we do essentially is that we try and get local Spaza shops to get the discounts that they wouldn't usually get by bulk buying on their behalf.
And there's another question from Nozipo. Is Vuleka able to help people in the Free State region?
So we are actually expanding into the Free State and into the Eastern Cape within the next 2 months.
Okay, so guys, just hold on tight a bit longer. Brian is going to dive in deep into what his app actually does, and then you guys will have a bit of insights. Ne? All right, so let's look at, COVID-19 in 2020, about 3 months of lockdown in South Africa. Cash flow was scarce.
Yeah.
Resources were scarce. Businesses closed down. And during the lockdown, a number of Spaza shop owners, and majority of them being foreign nationals, helped quite a number of communities. I actually found the video. I'm going to play it now. They helped a number of communities with groceries, like donating food, and charities, and keeping their prices as low as they could. And I mean, clearly they're doing the opposite of what they are being accused of. So I just want to know, do you think maybe the Gauteng government, and I say the Gauteng government because that's where the bill was drafted, do you think they're unaware of this factor? And I would say most of the time, as I've talked to some Spaza shop owners, they give credit to their community members, but not just anyone. It would mostly be pensioners.
Yes.
Older ladies, and not just any, and because they can rely on them, they can trust Uguti, they'll pay that money, they'll pay that money back. So I mean, how do we go about this? So, and that means taking these people away disrupts the entire ecosystem, because there's people who depend on these people.
So I think the thoughts behind the bill, I totally support. The fact that they want to provide support for local-owned businesses and get people back into business, given the fact that even with lockdown, a lot of people lost their jobs. So if a lot of people lost their jobs, the easier way for them to make money for themselves, the cheapest or the lowest barrier of entry is to open a Spaza shop or to start selling products, buy, break bulk and sell. So that's easier. The thought process behind the bill, I totally support. It is the execution maybe that I have a couple of problems with. Now, with regard to the fact that we can't run away from the fact as well that more than 70% of local Spaza shops are foreign owned. And there is also a problem. I think
that's a problem.
That is a problem, because it's the competition is a bit lopsided in this case.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we had a place where the playing field was leveled, and we could get local Spaza shops, we could get foreign-owned Spaza shops, and then I don't think people would have a problem generally in actually going the way there is competition for prices. The consumer wins at the end, which I believe is what we are all trying to achieve, for the consumer to win at the end.
Yeah. And I mean, let's take a look back, Brian. Foreign nationals only started thriving in the Spaza shop sector only just about 9 years ago, if not 10. Yeah. So, I mean, we were already ahead in terms of like resources. We had the spaces, we had the Spaza shops. So what did we miss? How come our Spaza shop, how come we're not the ones pioneering in this sector? And if we're going to be fighting for space for people who only started taking over about 9-10 years ago?
Yeah. So it's essentially with regard to how they do the business. The fact that they pull together and they bulk buy means that they can then get discounts. We don't do that. Like our local guys do not do that. If this is my shop, this is my shop, and this is how I run my shop.
Yes,
and, even with regards to our platform, when we were trying to start out and going out and speaking to these people, they did not, like Spaza shop owners did not want to work together, you see. And the problem is that the foreign guys do not mind doing that. So that's why they would then have the benefit of the economies of scale and being able to say, okay, this one shop today is the one that's stocking for everyone. So he closes up. The other guys don't close up, and then they can go ahead doing business. They don't lose that much business. With us, what happens is that usually with our local spaza shops, when the person is going to go buy a stock, they would close business for half the day. Because now they've seen this special at this cash and carry, this other special at this wholesaler. They close the shop, they've lost out on business for that half the day. Or they haven't stocked enough, so that when a person comes there and they ask for 3 items, maybe he has 2 out of those 3. The problem is when he's got 2 out of those 3, he loses the whole sale, because the person is not going to buy 2 from you and then go buy 1 from the next person. He's going to go to the next person and then buy from the person who's got everything. And where the foreign guys actually have an advantage is that they make sure that they've got everything stocked up. So they will never lose a sale. And then there's dependability for a person that knows that if I go to that one, I know I'll get everything. If I go here, I might get this and I might get that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're actually growing. Township spaza shops are growing, guys. They're no longer just your corner shop, that can get you your 2 eggs at the end of the day. You can legit get your washing powder. You can get your... They have a mini supermarket. Ujiji calls them spaza reds, because of their scaling nature. And I think essentially that's what scares us, if you come to my house and I have space for a garden that I don't use, and you ask to use it as a friend or as a visitor, the minute I start seeing your carrots growing, it's a problem. Even though I did not use the space before. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's dive into this video a bit. Oh, guys, I found it finally. Let me see. Can you hear Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but there's an echo.
Think about indigenous African philosophy. It means I am because you are. So for me, that's kind of a Pan-African feeling, despite the so-called xenophobia and all that problems and all that. I still see South Africa as people who are actually compassionate. Spaza shop is a survival-based grocery business.
You're on mute.
I'm going to stop it right there. Yeah, I'm going to stop it right there because I think we got the gist of it. But network is not playing on my side, which is quite sad. But this guy was actually saying during lockdown, they helped about, they helped a number of communities stay afloat during lockdown, which is something our government couldn't do for all of us, I mean, we are aware that, everybody got their 350s and spent it however, but what are you going to do with your 350 if you're not allowed to go outside and actually buy food? So these guys were actually providing actual food parcels to their communities. And I just want to say, I read a book a few weeks ago, somebody who was arguing the Spaza shop economy, who was saying that they're only able to, the only reason why they insist on giving away these food parcels, it's because it protects them at the end of the day. It protects them from the community when there's xenophobic attacks rise, because then the community is aware. We'll see, if we get rid of these people, then there are some certain benefits that we will not get. But besides that, it's part of their protection strategy. Are you disagreeing?
I'm seeing it as smart. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
It's a clever way of doing it.
All right, let's dive into the Vuleka app, the work that you do, Brian. What problem are you solving for the township economy?
So I think we have touched on it in quite a bit. We solve a couple of problems.
Yes.
Our app works by essentially connecting manufacturers of goods to the people that sell them, in this case being Spaza shops, and then to the consumers that buy them from the people that sell them. So we've got our app is essentially three-pronged. The one interface is for the consumer that buys the product. The other interface is for the Spaza shop. And then there's a back-end interface for manufacturers of goods. So if I start off with what it does for the manufacturer of the goods, is that it gives them access to shelf space in Spaza shops.
Okay.
So they can then get a route to market. But then these are not only the big manufacturers. We also work with smaller manufacturers who can't afford to list their goods on big retailers. So smaller guys that have got products that are competing with the known brands, we also give space in this space. We take their products and we introduce them into the markets. We hire youth that stay within the communities that we service, that then act as merchandisers or as sales reps for this product. So you don't have to have your own sales rep. They will take samples and take them out to Spaza shops, and they'll then come back with product information for you about if the shop would buy your product and why they wouldn't. Because sometimes you go into production and maybe your packaging is not right, the size is not right, the pricing is not right, and then you go into full-scale production and your goods don't sell. So that's for the manufacturer of the goods. For the Spaza shop, what we do is that we bulk buy on their behalf. So they place orders of the goods that they would regularly buy. We then negotiate discounts, and then we warehouse and deliver these goods. So these people don't have to leave the shops or close the shops, like we've already been speaking about, and then they get them delivered to their doorstep. Another way is that what we've realized in this whole process is that a lot of them is either they're unbanked, or even if they are banked, they're not seen as credit worthy, so they don't get access to credit. But by ordering through our platform, we have started building profiles for them. So we give them credit. We don't give them cash, but we give them stock on credits. That is to also then help with that problem that we mentioned earlier, where they don't have enough stock. Then they don't have to lose the whole sale. So now they get stock on credits, and then they pay that back with the next order. Now with that's what it does for the shop owner. Now for the consumer, we introduce new products to them. from either the smaller manufacturers or the bigger manufacturers. But not only that, our platform is also then used to collect data. So they then can answer surveys, be part of focus groups about brands, and then they get rewarded for that either in cash, in airtime, or in discounts that they can then redeem at the Spaza shop. So it essentially connects the whole ecosystem of doing business within like the informal economy, essentially.
Okay, and let me just ask, who has been your prominent customer?
Prominent customer is as in like from the shops or from?
Yes, is it mostly the shop owners or is it the manufacturers?
So the shop owners are our conduit, but they are customers in terms of buying. The manufacturers buy mostly information from us. They then buy the product journey, because a lot of manufacturers only know their product journey when it goes into big retail. So when it goes into a ShopRite or Pick n Pay, they know that to go onto the shelf, and this is probably who bought it, right? But then in this space, it either goes to a wholesaler or it goes to a cash and carry, and that's where it stops. They don't know from there where it goes. They don't know who buys it. They don't know the consumer who consumes it. We were in a meeting last week with one of the bread manufacturers, and those guys say that 70% of their products are sold and consumed within townships. 70. And they know nothing about their customer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the app would give them those kind of insights.
Yes.
That's crazy. All right. I'll just put the link, guys, for the Vuleka app after we're done with the series. Brian, please provide me with that so that everybody can just hop on. Yes, so that everybody can just hop on and see exactly what it is that you're doing. And then, I mean, according to your experience and expertise in this field, what are some of the ways you think might help Spaza shop owners, come together, regardless of nationality, regardless of where they come from?
So I think the best way, or the only way that they would come together, is by thinking about who they're servicing. So they're servicing consumers, and the way that we are right now, the rand is very stretched, and people can only buy what they can afford. The only way in which we can, or the Spaza shop owners can come together, is by then putting the customer first. The customer is the person that keeps their lights on, and is the person that would buy from them. And if they think that this is the person that needs to benefit from what it is that they're selling, that's the only way they would come together.
Okay. No, I see that. All right. I'm just going to end this right here. I'm just going to chop it right here. Let's go off to the comments. I see there's a couple of comments that have come in. When you mentioned that you give shelf space to the small manufacturers so they can penetrate the formal markets, couldn't help it but be proud of that collective effort. Just a quick one. Do you support those small manufacturers to comply with food safety regulations?
So at the moment, no, we do not do that because that's not our business. So our business is essentially to give you market access. We can refer people to where they would be able to get that type of information.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here. I'm just going to end it here. The connection is not playing on my part this time, so I'm just.
Oh, shame, that's sad.
But thank you so much for being here. I mean, we've gained a whole lot of insight. Please share the link so that people can hop on, especially, if you are operating in the township, if you're operating in that space, you need to find easier ways, to operate your business. Nothing beats systems in this day and age, The people who are way ahead of you are ahead because they've built systems. And now Brian has also come up with this, with the Vuleka app, which I essentially think that it does Vula a whole lot of doors for townships.
That's the thinking behind the name. That is exactly the thinking.
Quite fitting.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here, Brian. Guys, if you have any more questions, please just plug them in. If you see this chat way after we've gone off, when it's not live anymore, fill in the questions. We'll have Brian again if he has time for us. Thank you so much. And remember to think ownership.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.